Jamaica, where you been, come fix my shoe. Jamaica, where you been, I need you. I call you because I'm a sinner, you fix on my love. Jamaica, where you been, I need you. Jamaica, where you been, come fix my shoe. Jamaica, where you been, I need you. I call you because I'm a sinner, you can fix on my love. I know where you been, I know where to find you. Oh, 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 the party say my blessing, we go fix some, he had the bundle. Cause now him sabi the thing, I know go carry matter of shoe, go give a carpenter, no, cause he knows sabi the water, tell me. Carpenter, where you there, come fix my chair. Carpenter, where you there, I need you now. I call you because I know say now you fix up. Nah. I know where you there, I know where to find you. Oh, 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 the boy be say, my dancing, where go fix up, he ain't go call you. Cause now he's a be the thing, well. I know go carry my tail of chair, go give him shoemaker, no, cause he knows that we be what I tell you. Ask us where you they come fix our heart. Heart fix where you there, we need you now. We call you because we know say that you fix our now. Where you there, we need you now. Heart fix where you there, come fix our heart. Heart fix where you there, we need you now. We don't say that you fix now. We know where to find you. We know where you there, we know where to find you. We know where you there, we know where to find you. Oh, the party say the person where go fix me, go call you. That's nice, I need a thing, well. I know go carry matter of heart, go give you my no, cause he knows I be the work that follow. The party say the person where go fix me, go call you. Well, we don't go carry matter of heart, forgive you man no, cause he knows I be the work that follow. Let's fix it. Let's fix it. Right now we need you. 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 You feel both helpless, where else can I go? Nowhere, nowhere. If you don't tell me, where else can I go? Nowhere, nowhere. So I will run to you. So I will run to you. That's why I will run to you. I will run to you. If you don't help me, where else can I go? Nowhere, nowhere. If you don't heal us, where else can I go? Nowhere, nowhere. Nowhere. If you don't restless, where else can I go? Nowhere. Nowhere. So we will run to you. And we will run to you. We will run to you. We will run to you. Hello, good evening. You're welcome to Heavenly Healing from Trauma to Triumph webinar day 2. We're so excited to have you here. We have prayed for you. We have poured out our hearts in preparation for you, and you're welcome. You're welcome. I am Smart Sade, and I'll be your moderator for this session. Our speakers are ready for you. God is ready for you, and you about to be transformed. Let's continue with the music break before we officially kickstart. Thank you. Hello, good evening. You're welcome to today's installment of Heavenly Healing from Trauma to Triumph webinar. We are so excited to have you here. We'd love to meet you. Let us know who you are and where you're joining us from. I am Smart Sader, and I'm joining you from the city of Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria. Let's meet you. What's your name and where are you joining us from? In the meantime, let's kick off with the music that's playing in the background. And don't forget, introduce yourself in the comment section. Let's meet you. We can't wait to get into the session, but we have to meet you first. Let's know who we are dealing with. Let's meet you. Let's get your name, where you're joining us from. And trust me, this is about to be a transformative experience because God is here and God is set to do a new thing. Let's continue with the music break. Why you introduce yourself in the comment section? Hello, Zainab. You're welcome to Emily Ilin from Trauma to Triumph webinar. We are so glad to have you here. Let's meet you. What's your name and where are you joining us from? What is your name and where are you joining us from? Hi, Zil. We see you are delighted to be here. We are also delighted to have you here. I am delighted to have you here. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Let's know where you're joining us from, city and country. I am joining you from the city of Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria. Where are you joining us from? Hi! Oh, I love the hi. It's so long. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, we have Zainab. Gunawa Zainab. I go by the name Z. I'm joining from Lagos, Nigeria. We are so excited to have you here, Zainab. And if you let, I will call you Z. We are excited to have you here still. Hi, Lemuela. You're joining us from Delta State, Nigeria. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So excited to have you here. I am Smart Taylor, your moderator for tonight, and I'm joining you from the city of Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria. Once again, you are welcome to Heavenly Healing from Trauma to Triumph webinar day 2. We are so glad, so glad to have you here. We've prepared for you, we've prayed for you, we're still praying for you. And our speakers will be joining us soon to lead us in this transformative experience. Okay, we have someone else joining us. Hello, Victory, joining us from Benin City, Nigeria. We're so glad to have you here. So glad to have you here. Today we are gathered to heal from relational wounds. And by relational wounds, I mean friendship art because it is a thing. What we call breakfast in Nigeria, but globally is recognized as a heartbreak from a romantic relationship. And we're also going to be dealing with spousal art, also that comes from your spouse in marriage. So, ladies and gentlemen, get yourself ready because this is going to be one experience. You're not just going to learn how to heal from these traumatic experiences, these soul wounds, but you're also going to learn how to not get into them next time. I mean, I say once bitten, twice shy. In this case, please be once bitten and forever shy. So, our speakers are going to be taking us on this journey. We are going to be learning how to avoid such scenarios, how to heal from them, the journey forward, and so much more. Get ready to be transformed. For those just joining us, I am Smart Sadie, and I am your moderator for tonight. Okay. If you've not gone ahead to invite people, what are you waiting for? Mm, What are you waiting for? Go ahead to invite your friends, your family members, extended nuclear, all of them. Invite everybody invitable. And then if you were here the last time, and if you know me well, you would know I would add this. Invite your FOES, invite your foes, FFF, family, friends, and foes, because everyone deserves to heal, everyone deserves healing. Hurt people. So let's get them in here, whether you think they deserve it or not. Whether you think they deserve it or not, let's get them in here. Go ahead, share the link, where people spam broadcast messages and group chats. Spam them now, because you don't know who you are saving, you don't know who you're bringing in to get this transformative experience. So go ahead, share. It's just the link is there, the button to click is there. Just click the share link or the share icon, and you would see the copy link and share the link. That's it. That's pretty much it. No extra cost, no transportation fare. No. It does cost something. Everything comes at a cost, but please do well to invite someone. That person on your contact list might just need this. Someone who's viewing your status update might just need this. You need it, they need it too. Let's get people into the room. Let's get more people into the room. Okay, while we have more persons joining in, okay, before I get into what I was about to say, I would say for those who are just joining us, you're welcome to Heavenly Healing from Trauma to Triumph Day 2. It's day 2 and it's the final day. But if you missed day 1, let me just tell you that don't worry, calm down, no fretting. The link, the replay is available for you. All you have to do is check our channel, check the live page, and you'll find it there. It's readily available for you. When you watch, you want to share it to as many people as possible, because if we all are healed souls, I think the world would be a better place. I believe the world would be a better place. So let's get more people into the room. And for those just joining us, let us meet you. I am Smart Sede. I am joining you from the city of Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria. Let's meet you. Where are you joining us from? What's your name? Let's meet you. While that is going on in the comment section, from the display, you can see that It reads Smart Say There, author Naked and Unashamed. Well, Naked and Unashamed is the reason why we are gathered here. The book is the reason why we are gathered here. One of the reasons why we are gathered here, actually. So, Naked and Unashamed is that book where someone I would say it this way, I'll put it this way. Someone once said, say they posted a nudes, and that I think that comment, that caption still rings in my head every single day when I think about the book, because that's what the book really is. It's me being raw, real, as vulnerable could be. I don't think vulnerable could be any more vulnerable. I mean, letting go of the burden of shame, letting go of the weight of shame, of brokenness, and coming into what we call the naked and unashamed life. And that life is a life that every one of us should live. That's the life God called you to live. That's the life that God wants you to live. I want you to be free from soul wounds, from emotional trauma, from relational trauma, from everything that broke your soul. God wants your heart whole, and He can do that for you and more. That is what He wants to do for you through this webinar and through the book Naked and Unashamed. If you've not gotten your copy, do well to get it tonight, because pre-order prices end tonight, and we get on to the actual prices. And for those who have gotten their copies, who have pre-ordered their copies, I mean, launch day is closer than you think. Thursday, 21st of August 2025 is our launch day. And before then, hopefully, before then, you should have gotten your books delivered to you. If not before then, you get your books delivered to you on the 21st, unfailingly. And then, for those who would love to join us at the book signing and book reading event, feel free to join us on Saturday, 23rd of August 2025. The link to that will be shared with you later on so you can register. P.S. Only those who have read the book have access to the webbing, to the book signing event. So if you've not gotten the book, go get your book. And quick insights, we have more and more experiences loaded for you when you get your copy of the book. All you have to do is buy one book, and so many benefits abound for you. So, for those just joining us, you're welcome to Heavenly Healing from Trauma to Triumph webinar day 2. This is our second and final installment of the webinar. And trust me, you are in for a transformative experience. God is about to do a new thing. God loves you. God cares about you. God sees you. God is protecting you every single time. Is there with you always and forever. When you tell your boyfriend, you tell your man, your woman, always and forever. Well, remember that someone called God is with you always and forever, never ever leaving your side. All you have to do is be with Him. And for those just joining us, let's meet you. I am Smart Sade. I am joining you from the city of Ilorin, Kwara and I look forward to the transformation that will take place tonight through this session. So if you're just joining us, let us meet you. What's your name? Where are you joining us from? And don't forget, let's share the link. Let's spread the good news. Let's spread the gospel of this webinar to the ends of the earth. Invite people, invite people, invite people, family, friends, and foes alike. Let's get more people in the room. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, before our speakers join us, I want to hear from you. What are your expectations from this webinar? What do you expect from this experience? Because if you're not expectant, you're most likely going to leave without anything. Not because God isn't here, because your eyes were not open to see, because your mind wasn't open to receive. So let's hear from you. What are your expectations from this experience? For me, I expect to learn. I expect to I think I'm healed to some extent, right? But healing is a journey. It's not a one-time thing, and healing is weird. Healing is weird. 1 minute it's all good, and you think, "Oh my God, I've arrived. I'm healed now. I can." But you just wake up one day or someday, and just feels like the heart comes back, not with the same gravitas it had the first time, but it just revisits. You start to miss the memories that of what could have been, what was, and what you wanted. Healing is weird, but healing is a journey. It is a marathon, not a sprint. And like our speaker, MTA Michelle Tobi Adesanya told us on Friday that healing is a process. It is not linear. It is a process. It is not linear. So let's have that in mind. I still want to hear from you. What are your expectations from this experience? What do you hope to take away from this experience? What do you want to take away from this experience? Let's hear from you. And if you're just joining us, we would love to meet you. What's your name and where are you joining us from? I am Smart Sadie and I'm joining you from the city of Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria. Where are you joining us from? Where are you joining us from? I'm waiting for your comments in the comment section. So let's have that coming. And don't forget, do well to invite more people to come on board because you never know whose life you're helping. You never know whose life you're saving. Someone might just be about to take a drastic step and you're saving the person by sharing this link. So let's get more people on board. Let's get more people on board. For those just joining us, I am Smart Sadie and I'm so excited to have you here. I am so excited to have you join us tonight. Okay, we have Jacqueline from Obasanjo Ota, that's Ogun State, Nigeria. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so excited to have you here. We've prayed for you, we've poured out our hearts in preparation for you, and we cannot wait to see the transformation that you would experience tonight. Our speakers are ready for you, and we hope you're ready for our speakers. Okay, we have our expectations coming in now. Ognawa Zainab says, I look forward to learning practical steps to take during the healing process. That's really smart. That's really good. By God's grace, that's expectation will be met tonight. Thank you very much. Let's hear from others. What are your expectations from this experience? What are your expectations from this experience? For me, I look forward to learning how to go on the journey of healing, and also I look forward to your expectations being met. So for my second expectation to be met, your expectations have to be known, spelled out, and met. So let's hear from you. What do you expect from this experience? What do you expect from this experience? What do you expect? And thank you, thank you. I can see the numbers are increasing. More persons are joining in. That's good. If you've not invited someone, go ahead. Invite someone, invite someone, invite someone. You never know whose life you're saving by bringing that person into the room. I still look forward to your expectations. So let's have them come in. 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 Our speakers will be in the room soon. And I can't wait. I can't wait for this experience. I am so, so, so pumped about it because for our speakers, I'm going to give brief insights into our speakers before I even get to reading their bio when they come into the room. So first, one of our speakers is Mr. Tobi Adesanya. If you've read my book, for the early readers, yes, if you've read, I mentioned there was a part I gave insights into one of my coaches who helped me get into a conversation with myself. Okay, I'm going to just relate the experience. I remember, I think I was in 200, 300 level then, and a lot was going through my head. I was, I could say I was losing my mind. And I was, I was just led to speak to him about what was going on. I think he was the first person I ever spoke to about the entire thing. Yes, when you read the book, you understand what I mean by the entire thing. But it was the first person I spoke to about it, and he had me do this therapeutic journey, which it seemed weird when I had to do it, but it really helped me. And the task was simple but not easy. It said, sit with your younger self. Sit with your younger self, 5 year old self. Sit her down, have a conversation with her. Tell her how you feel. Tell her how you've healed. Tell her where you are right now. Just speak to her, positively. Just speak to her. And it seemed weird to me because I know I talk to myself a lot. Yes, I do that a lot. But telling me to call my 5 year old self into a meeting to speak to her about something that happened when we were children. I'm saying we because myself and my 5 year old self, right? And we had to have that meeting. I remember I placed my chair in front of me. I sat on my bed. I placed the chair in front of me, and I was having this conversation, and I was crying. It felt like letting go of a weight. I think that I like to believe that that was when my healing journey actually started. I sat down with that day. I could imagine the child I was speaking to on that seat because I do have a picture of what looks like my 5 year old self. So I sat down, I sat myself on my bed with my 5 year old self, and we had that discussion. And it was long, and I was just crying. The entire time I was crying. I had to even stop at some point because I could not continue. That goes to show that healing is not a one-time thing. Imagine that I started the journey of healing in about 2021, 2022, 2022, thereabout. And the journey is still on. It goes to show you that healing is a process. Healing is not to be rushed. Healing is not to be rushed. So yes, that's for Mr. Tobi Adesanya. Was one of those persons who helped me, a very key person actually in helping me begin my journey to healing, and I'm always grateful for him. And that's gonna help to even do more in my life from reading his book, No More Heartbreaks. If you've not read that book, do well to get it. That book is so good. It's so rich. And for someone who has read a lot of books on relationships and marriage, that goes to say that that book is really good. It's really good. Okay, for our second speaker, we'll be having Deborah Victor-Ayoola. I met DVA. I call her DVA. We call her DVA because Deborah Victor-Ayoola sounds long, but DVA is just to share. So I met her through a program I'm currently enrolled in. And I remember meeting her physically for the first time in June. Like, this woman is enjoying her marriage. And I'm like, you people, a marriage is not just one of those marriages you see virtually. No, she has a community called the Godly Marriage Tribe, but she's a living, walking example of what she's preaching. And I remember seeing our parents in law so good. Those people are so good. And when she tells stories about how she has been there with her in laws for months before she had the baby. It's just so good, so good. She's enjoying what we call the godly marriage, and that's is the road we want to follow. That's what we want to follow. For those who were here on Friday, we already had Michelle Tobi Adesanya. That's MTA. Yes, we already had MTA, and today we're going to be having the TA to the MTA. I can't wait for this conversation. I really cannot wait for us to delve into it because it's going to do something in you. It's going to do a good work on your art. And I'm so glad to see that happen. Okay, I can see some persons are just joining us. Hello, Okonlua. You're welcome to Healing from Trauma to Triumph webinar day 2. It's our second and final installment, and we cannot wait to get into this conversation with you. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for the compliment. Oh my God, I'm blushing. Thank you so much for the compliment, Okonoluwa. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Okay, if you've not invited someone on board, do well to do that now. Let's get the room filled. Let's get more people into the room because God is set to do a new thing and you are about to be a partaker of that good new thing. So let's hear from you. In the meantime, give us. Okay, I think some people are just joining us and I have to keep up. Okay. For those just joining us, you're welcome to Heavenly Healing from Trauma to Triumph webinar day 2. Today, we're dealing with healing from relational wounds. Talk about heartbreak, what Nigerians like to call breakfast, talk about friendship art because it is a thing. It happens a lot. And if we don't address it, people keep getting hurt and don't know how to go about it. And we're going to talk about spousal art. And our speakers are ready for you. Are you ready for our speakers? Hello everyone. I apologize for the breaking transmission. I apologize for that. Thank you very much for staying with us still. Thank you. Okay, so our speakers are ready for you, and I can't wait for us to get into it. Okay, for Zainab says, I'm also very sad to learn about friendship, but I might be going through it currently. We're so sorry that you're currently going through that. But we hope that this brings you light. This helps you handle the situation even better. Thank you very much for joining us. I okay. Okay, one of our speakers in the room already. Yes. We are gradually getting closer to the moment where we get into this session because time runs and time doesn't wait for us. Okay, I'm going to read the biography of our first speaker. I'm going to take a citation now. uh, do well to listen and feel free to engage in the comment section as we go. Feel free to engage in the comment section. Okay, thank you. As you do so. Okay, okay. So our first speaker is okay. Our speakers are in the house, and now we get into reading their citation. Thank you very much for joining us. I'll add them onto the stage as we read the bios. Thank you. Okay, let's do this. The first speaker we'll be introducing is Deborah Victor-Ayoola. Deborah Victor-Ayoola is a certified marriage and family life counselor dedicated to strengthening families through faith-based counseling, strategic education, and advocacy. Driven by a God given vision to help individuals do marriage according to God's original design, Deborah is on a mission to curb the rising divorce rate, equip singles with the tools for intentional courtship, and champion the restoration of the family system as a foundation for societal transformation. She is the convener of the Catch Them Young conference, which empowers singles with the knowledge and spiritual tools to build godly marriages. And she is also the founder of Godly Marriage Tribe, a growing online community that nurtures singles in their journey toward marriage. Alongside her husband, she co-hosts the annual Kingdom Marriage Conference, focused on helping couples realign with biblical marriage principles. Deborah is the author of Courtship Compass, a practical guide featuring over 150 critical questions singles should ask before settling down. She currently launched a 6 month series of free monthly premarital counseling class. Deborah's voice is rising to become a leading advocate for family transformation in Africa and beyond. And our ultimate vision is to be remembered as a global reformer who redefined the family system through godly marriage. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make welcome Deborah Victor Ayo Ola. Hello, DVA. Good evening.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Good
Hello.
evening, Dee. My smart
Welcome.
woman, as I love to call you. It's so good to be here. It's so good to join you here. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Okay, I'm going to introduce our next speaker. Our next speaker is Mr. Tobi Adesanya. Oluwatobi Adesanya is a speaker, journal therapist, and clarity coach whose life's work is to help people shed the weight of pain and step boldly into healing, identity, and purpose. He is the curator of Journaling for Answers, a transformative coaching platform that combines reflective writing with coaching to help people unearth answers for critical areas of life. He is certified in journal therapy by the Center of Excellence UK, as well as trained in emotional therapy and counseling by Audacity to Lead Academy. For years, Tobi has worked with people through the trenches of trauma, heartbreak, and identity loss, helping them rewrite their internal narratives and recover their emotional wholeness. He is the visionary behind Excel, the healing meeting, a sacred annual gathering that fuses worship, therapy, teaching, and divine presence to bring deep emotional rest and restoration. Through platforms like Mental First Aid, he also equips people with a practical psychological tools to process pain, handle life's internal crisis, and find stability when the soul is under pressure. Oluwatobi is also the CEO of Art to World Publishing, where he helps authors birth transformational books, and he continues to lead coaching programs and fellowships that merge spiritual maturity, emotional intelligence, and personal growth. Whether through the written word, journal therapy, or spirit led coaching, Oluwatobi's message is simple: healing is possible, and you don't have to walk through it alone. It brings to every room not just insights, but presence, helping people find rest, clarity, and restoration from the inside out. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make welcome Mr. Oluwatobi Adesanya. Good evening, sir. Hello, Mr. Toby. You're currently muted. Your mic is muted.
Sorry, good evening, Smart Lady. Good to
Good
be on the
evening,
call.
sir.
Great to have DBA in the house as well to participate in the conversation.
Good evening, Mr. Tobi. Glad to be here with you.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, our speakers are in the house, and even me, I cannot contain my excitement because this is about to be a really transformational experience. Let's just get right into it instead of beating around the bush even further. Okay, so I'm going to be moderating this session. It's a panel session, and we'll be having questions and answers from our speakers. Some questions will be directed to individual speakers, and some will be directed to both of you. Thank you very much. We're going to start with addressing the question to both of you. And this question is still going to be on the foundation we're laying today on healing from relational wounds. Oftentimes, the deepest wounds begin in uh, the deepest wounds begin in um, our, re- our foundational spaces, but then there's also what we call relational wounds, right? Where the hurt is from friends, from relationships, from our marriages. Now, my first question is going to be directed at the both of you, and I would like for Mr. Toby to answer first. Then we'll take DVA. So the question is: relational wounds by their nature involve that significant trust is broken. So, what is the common mistake that you see people make when trying to heal from betrayal in a relationship? What is the most common mistake that you see people make when trying to heal from betrayal in a relationship?
All right, thank you very much. Sorry, there seems to be an echo. I'm hearing my voice back. I don't know if it's um okay. I think that's stopped now. Okay. So yes,
We can hear you.
when it yeah, all right. Thank you very much. So I was just going to start by saying that that getting hurt in life is a constant. It is inevitable, right? At some point, somebody will do something, somebody will say something, and it so happens that everything that happens to us as human beings happens in the context of relationships. Probably family, his friends, maybe his neighbors, maybe even church family. I mean, typically, every good, bad, or ugly thing that happens to a human being happens in the context of people many times. So it's actually inevitable to have those things happen to us, and it happens sometimes even in the journey of love, dating, and marriage, or that context as well too. So the major thing about people trying to heal from that, maybe from a betrayal of a friend or of a partner that might cause the challenges when they think that it ought not to have happened to them. Right. So even though we don't expect the bad things to happen all the time, all right, but if they happen, all right, um, we need to understand that people act based on the level of their knowledge, their exposure, or their experience. In fact, some people may have good intentions, but they may act wrongly. For instance, I'm sure that you probably heard some parents or some parents, yeah, right? They would literally be cursing their children. Ah, your head is this, your head is. But I often think that if you check their heart is beating for love for that child in a sense, but they don't understand how to express that correctly. So they'll probably be beating the child, cursing the child, but the intention that they may have in their depth of their heart may be that they want to actually help that child become a better version of themselves. So sometimes people act the way that they act because they don't know better, or they did wrongly. So the beginning of the journey to healing, or the journey to getting better or recovering from a betrayal in a relationship, is to have that mindset that this person may have been acting this way because they don't know any better. And maybe if he or she knew better, they would have probably acted differently, a little differently to this. Because ultimately, you can't change how somebody else really, really thinks. Is you that you see. I would say that except the belief that we have about ourselves, or about something is empowering, we'll continue to live defeated lives. Except we have or develop intentional, empowering beliefs about what happened to us or what is happening to us, we'll keep on living defeated lives. So whether a husband, a spouse, is somebody, I mean, whatever somebody did, ultimately is what you believe that matters. You get so, and that's where God comes in. God is, that just to end my thoughts on this, I often make an analogy about something. If I'm teaching about perception, about mental health, and all of these things, I always say that just imagine that you are on your street in your neighborhood. You're just taking a walk, and you're wearing white. You're wearing maybe white native or whatever. And you're just taking a stroll maybe to your bus stop, and say a car just drives past you, and the guy just drives and just splashes mud on your clothes. The first thing you want to do is maybe shout and say, "Are you okay? Are you blind?" All of that. That's a natural response of everybody. But if somebody tells you and say, "Ah, sorry, sir, do you know that guy that is speeding off, that guy in this car currently, his wife is about to put to bed and is rushing to the hospital, and they have lost 3 children in the past, and he doesn't want to lose this particular child. That's why he's running past you like that." Oh, I can assure you that the person that was stained, his cause will turn to prayer. He'll be like, "God, please help that man, help that man, help that man, help her to give birth. So the information that came to you at that time did not change what happened, but it changed your perspective to what happened. So it turned your response from abusive, response, or cursing, or being angry at yourself, or angry at the person, to being prayerful. Like, it unlocks your good nature. So that's what happens in life. We may not be able to change what happens to us, or what happened rather to us in a sense, but we can change our interpretation to it. And once we do that, our actions will change and our lives will ultimately change. So I hope I've been able to either answer the question or maybe dance around it a bit. I don't know if I hit the question on the head, but
The
probably
question on the
I
air,
would
but probably I would
demo later.
demo later.
Okay, thank you. So you did answer the question. The question was, what's the common mistake you see people make? And you highlighted that the mistake you see is that that um, people think people react in the way that they act because of the information that they have. So if you know better, you would do better. If they know better, they would also do better. So we need to act on that mindset that they don't know better. And one thing I know someone else also says is that you should believe that odds people, odds people. But now let's hear from DVA. Hello, DVA.
Hi.
Hi.
Man.
Hello.
Thank you. Thank you once again for this privilege to be here. Okay, so I'd like to continue from where Mr. Toby stopped. I really like that he touched about mindset because it's a lot. And the point I'm going to share also, lingers around mindset. I know one of my classes that I held on healing from emotional wounds, one of the things I told the participants in the class is that healing is your responsibility, even if the wound wasn't your fault. It is your responsibility to heal. And so I like that Mr. Toby said mindset, once you have this mindset, and I think that's one mindset a lot of people don't have or don't pay attention to. There's this whole the person has not apologized, like the scenario that Mr. Toby painted. Honestly, if you're waiting for the person to come and apologize before you go change the white attire that you're putting on, you're going to wait there forever, like forever. But understanding that, oh, this person has done it and has moved ahead, it is my responsibility, it's my duty to go change my white shirt and appear clean again and all of that. So yes, hurt people, and that is why, so that we don't hurt people due to the fact that we've been hurt, we have to change our mindset. We have to, and one mindset I say is healing is your responsibility, even if the wound wasn't your fault. Is it going to be easy? No. So I think one mistake people make is they don't know, maybe, or they don't actually, what's it called now, have the understanding that regardless of, I've heard people say, oh, I'm waiting for closure. You won't always get the closure. You won't always get the closure. Healing is for you first before anybody. It is you freeing yourself. It is you giving yourself freedom. So you need to work with that mentality. You need to learn that mentality that healing is me giving myself freedom. It is my responsibility to heal. Is it going to be easy? No, it is not a fast thing. Healing is a journey. And like the scenario that was shared in class, is just like you're cutting onions. There are different layers to this onion. As you cut, you get another layer. As you cut, you get another layer. When you cut the onion, some onions get you teary and you need to use it to cook. Are you going to say, oh, I'm not using it again because it's getting teary? No, you're going to stop, receive fresh air to your eyes. That's just like the healing process. You get to some level, it feels like, oh, you've touched a depth you don't want to touch, but you just have to keep going. It's a journey so that you get to that place of total freedom, you get to that place of healing, complete healing. So having the mindset that healing is their responsibility, either they were the cause or not the cause of the wound, is a very necessary thing. And so I think that's a mistake that people don't, you know, people make. They don't pay attention to the fact that either I get disclosure or not, it is my responsibility to heal from this wound. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, DVA. So the mistake you highlighted is that people think that healing is for the other party, but in actual sense, the healing is for you. The healing is first for you. The healing is you getting yourself free from the cage, from the prison of hurt. So thank you very much, DVA, for that. Okay, so we'll get into individual questions now. So let's start with Mr. Toby. Mr. Toby wrote this amazing book called No More Heartbreaks, and it's one of the best books I've read. I've been screaming it off and down. But yes, our question is going to come from heartbreak. Heartbreak and spousal odds can sometimes feel like death. Not sometimes, it always feels like death. But we also need to still learn how to navigate it because it has happened. But how then can we move forward? So, how would you advise that someone who has experienced heartbreak or spousal hurt to navigate the grief, the anger, and the disillusionment that comes with betrayal in intimate relationships without losing their sense of self or their hope for future connection? Hello, Mr. Toby. Hello, Mr. Toby. Can you still connect with us? Okay, screen is frozen. Is it just my end? No. Okay, I can still see DVA. His screen is frozen. Okay, I think we'll get back to Mr. Toby when the network is clear. Yes, he'll be back soon. Okay, so let me just go to DVA. We'll get back to Mr. Toby when he's in the room. So for DVA, I like to call you my brilliant woman, and I like to think that to some extent we're friends. My question to you is going to be on friendship betrayal. Friendship betrayals, social odds, they are often minimized as small, but they still leave deep scars. So how do these less recognized forms of trauma, that's friendship or social odds, how do they impact our sense of belonging and our self-worth? And what would you say is the healthy way to grieve and move past them?
Okay, thank you. I
Okay,
don't
thank
think
you.
it's
I mean,
less recognized because from someone who has gone through friendship hurt, oh my god, it did me dirty, literally. Like I was so pained. I was losing myself. I was becoming who I wasn't. I became very angry, like very angry. I literally get cranky, get upset at little things. I mean, I had a set of friends while I was in 100 level, and I held that friendship dear to my heart because I thought, oh, that's how we are all to relate, and everything was going on smoothly until someone felt like, oh, this person is closer to this person than this person, and all of those things. And it just went from like 0 to 100 real quick. And I was just like, how did we get here? And honestly, I was invested in that relationship. I was so invested that, thinking about it, sometimes I just reflect and I'm like, life though, like, so I know that for me, one thing that did for me was I was beginning to second guess myself. Even when I knew that, oh, I wasn't at fault on certain things, it made me second guess myself, like, oh, like, am I really, maybe I was the issue. Maybe I don't deserve to be loved. Maybe this, maybe that. And I know that it made me started shrinking who I was. And again, for someone like me who is very expressive, I love having friends around. I love being around people. I love it when people are so joyful when they're around me. And it felt like one person in that relationship, in that friendship, had an issue with my personality, and it just started making me shrink. Maybe I was thinking, am I too loud? Am I overbearing? And I just started to like lose myself unconsciously, and I became angry. I didn't even realize that I was already angry, because at that point I'm like, I think I had lost myself. I wasn't my authentic self again. I didn't realize that I had become angry, and it took the Holy Spirit calling my attention to it, and another friend, calling my attention to it. I remember when that friend told me, oh, someone reported me to you that you get cranky before they say one, you're already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm like, hello, if you're not careful, I'm going to kick you out of my life too. It was from that conversation that I realized that, okay, girl, calm down. You are not this way. How did you get here? How did we get here? And I just found out that, okay, no, this is not healthy. You have to reaccess. This is not who I am. I have to reaccess. And I had a conversation with myself. For me, I'm very grateful for the gift of the Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit has always, corrected me, called me to order. And people that do life without the Holy Spirit, honestly, I don't know how they do it. But for me, that's one advantage I have, that I get to have conversations with the Holy Spirit and is able to say, okay, slow down, slow down, slow down. You're beginning to, go too far. And for me, I think I had to really like let go of that, because now in my life, I used to say that if they are saying, oh, the gift of men, I'm a proof that God has blessed people with the gift of men. I am a proof because I'm surrounded by quality people. I'm surrounded by wholesome people. I'm surrounded by people that when I sometimes I can just sit. In fact, before I jumped on this call, I had like some of my friends around and they've been here since we're just talking. And sometimes when I reflect on the kind of friendship I have now, I move to tears. That's just because I've seen how they've gone out of their way. They've done so many things for me that I don't deserve, and I know that this is just a reminder of God's love to me. But the truth is, if I had not healed from that friendship hurt, I wouldn't be enjoying this reality that I'm in. And that's why I like to tell people you need to see beyond pain and see what is on the other side of pain. For some people, it could be purpose. For some people, it could be relationship. The truth is, I would have lost or I wouldn't even experience this wholesome friendship that I am experiencing now if I was still carrying that hurt. I carried that hurt for a long time, for a very long time. And I knew that I was pushing people away intentionally, unintentionally. I was pushing people away until the Holy Spirit called my attention to it. And now sometimes I'm just going to go and say, oh, thank you, Jesus. Thank you for calling my attention to this because I can't even imagine what it would have been this person if I wasn't friends with this person, if this person wasn't in my circle. I'll be jealous of their friends actually, but they are my friends. And I'm so grateful for the quality of people I have. And again, for purpose, I mean, seeing beyond what is beyond the pain and what is on the other side. Purpose, I'm here today because I was able to heal from that wound and to come share my experience, to come help other people heal from the wound. So yes, friendship hurts can be a lot, and I didn't get 5 years later. It was still like very deep for me because those people really meant a lot to me. But I mean, I'm better. And now I can see, I tell people you need to get to that place where you can literally pray for the person that hurts you. That's one sign for me that you've healed. You can literally see that person and not curse the person, and anger will not well up inside of you. And not necessarily because you want them back in your life, but you're able to extend grace even from afar and wish them well and not curse them or something like that. So what's the second end of the question? I don't know if I've answered that in between, but just so that I'm sure.
Okay. I kind of had a network break. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you.
So I was
I can hear
asking
you.
what
I can hear you. Just asking what
the part of the question
the part of the
is.
question. Yeah, the next part of the question is what is a healthy way to grieve and move past the hurt?
Okay, a healthy way to
Okay,
grieve
a
and move
healthy way
past it
to grieve
is
and move
first
past it.
acknowledge that you're hurt. A lot of people try to run away from acknowledging it. I don't know why, but I know I've had clients who won't want to acknowledge. So acknowledge that you're hurt and seek help. You can't go through life alone. We were not created to go through life alone. Don't hold it back. Express all of the anger. If you need to seek counseling, seek counseling. If you have someone that you trust, right, speak to that person. Don't I think one mindset that was going to hold me bound then, that I'm thankful that I got freedom from, is the fact that, oh, these people that I hold dear to my heart hurt me, so therefore every other person out there is ready to hurt me or don't love me. That was one lie the devil was trying to tell me. So in my head, I was telling myself I didn't have anybody to talk to. I had people who still loved me regardless of what happened. I had people who loved me. I had people who cared for me. I had people who knew I was hurting even without me telling them, and they listened. They were willing to listen, but I was running away from, when they asked me, oh, what's up with you and this person? I'm like, oh, we're good. Oh, this, I was just like snapping, ignoring, and all of that. Acknowledge that you're hurt. That is one. Acknowledge, it's just like you don't know something. Acknowledging that you don't know that thing is the first step to getting knowledge about it. If you're always forming, oh, I know it, I know it, I know it, then you just keep living in folly. But once you acknowledge, so acknowledge that you're hurt and then seek help. In this part of the world, let's say maybe Africa, Nigeria, I don't know why, but seeking for help is being tagged as weakness. And I'm saying this because I'm a counselor and I know that people, when they come for counseling, they are shy to say they need help, or they are shy to talk to people or acknowledge it. I don't know why there's this whole bad PR on counseling, but counseling is a sign of strength. Seeking help basically is a sign of strength, either for something that you do, for something you're going through. Seeking help is a sign of strength. So seek help about it, acknowledge, seek help about it, and be ready to walk through that journey of healing. You're going to experience different kind of emotions. You're going to cry, you're going to experience anger. Don't shy away from it. Don't run away from it. Go through it, literally. Go through it, because the more you keep running away from it, you're just sowing a seed into your future, because one way or the other you will still come in contact with it. So the earlier you let go of it, the better. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, DVA. Thank you very much. Just a quick recap on what you said. You shared with us that the odds does come with some second guessing, some self shrinkage, some anger, some bitterness, possibly envy and jealousy too. But then you mentioned Holy Spirit as your advantage to indicate where you needed to get corrected, where you needed to mend your ways, and that's really good. We need to let go and let God. You also shared with us the ways that we can grieve and move past them. You mentioned that we must acknowledge that we were hurt. It's very important that we acknowledge it, because you can't fix what you are not aware about. Then we should seek help. Go through the emotions, express the anger, seek counseling if we need to, and if we can trust, we can speak to a trusted friend. We can do that too. Then we should be ready to walk the journey of healing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. And yes, seeking help is really a strength. It really is a strength. Thank you very much for that. Okay, so let's get back to Mr. Toby. Before the network got you out, I was asking this question, and I'm just going to take it again. We do know, I know that you wrote a very great book called No More Heartbreak. So I'm going to direct this question at you, because I know that you can answer this question well. It's this, that heartbreak and spousal oath can feel like death. But how can someone who has experienced them, or who is currently experiencing them, the intense grief, the anger, the disillusionment that comes with betrayal, especially in intimate relationships, how can they navigate all of these feelings, all of these emotions, without losing their sense of self or hope for future connection where that is possible?
Thank you very much for that question, because it's a very heavy question. Um, that because it's one thing to break friendship, that can be very painful, but it's a different level when somebody breaks a covenant, right? It's a different level, because friends can easily be, some friends, let me not say friends can, some friends can easily be replaced. Not all friends, some can easily be replaced. But you can't, I mean, your partner is supposed to be for life, so once that person, or if that person goes against the covenant of that marriage relationship, where somebody decides to dishonor what you have together, I mean, I don't know what else to equate the pain to, so it's definitely is very devastating for any person that may be going through that, maybe on this call, or you know um but the way to answer that is that when such things happen, the first thing is not to blame yourself for what you think that you did wrong. Of course, naturally, everybody has their flaws, right? Everybody has their flaws. But I often always say that the vows that we take before God and before man is first and foremost to God. It's not then secondary to your partner. It says that you should love God with all your heart, all your might, all of those things, then love your neighbor as yourself. So it means that I'm saying that irrespective of what you're not doing for me, I will love you. That's what it is to say you're in a covenant with somebody. So if the wife does not cook, for instance, and you're angry that because she doesn't cook, she's not happy with you, then decides to go and meet somebody else on the outside. I mean, that that means you don't even know the weight of what you agreed to when you decided to get married to that person. So yes, human beings have their flaws, but when such things happen, don't blame yourself. Don't begin to wonder, oh, is it because I did not do this? Is it because I did not do that to that person? So the journey to healing I believe, would start with finding finding a community of people that can help you navigate that season. You know that now when John the Baptist, or sorry, when Jesus rather was betrayed, it was it was amazing that it was Judas rather that came to come and betray him. Just follow my thought. I want to just say something. And it's amazing that when they came to pick up Jesus, the Bible says that he said, "How come you didn't come to meet me or arrest me when I was teaching in the synagogue, teaching in the temple?" He said, "Don't worry, your hours come." All right. So Judas knew exactly where Jesus would be that night, and that's because he was in his inner circle. And that's why it hurt the most. And despite the fact that the entire disciples left him, Bible says that something. He said that yes, all of you will fall away, but um, you know, he was just saying that God was still going to be with him. That's paraphrasing now. Anyway, that even though he was going to be alone, even though he was going to be betrayed by those he has committed his most time to, as it were, but that God will be with him. So in that moment, I would say start with God again, because God brought you guys together. As a couple, that's the first. So we go back to God that brought you together, because even when Peter, John, and all of these guys left him, he said, "Don't worry, that the Father is with me." That's paraphrasing what he said anyway. So he believed that even in the betrayal, he had one person that they can always rely on, even on the cross. Even when the Father in quote left him, he said, "Why did you forsake?" He still was calling to him. All right. So even in the midst of betrayal, don't start planning revenge. Start reaching forward to that person, to God. Reach, even if it feels as if it's far away at that time. Because on the cross, the Bible says Jesus was saying that he said, my father, why have thou forsaken me?" He did not call to his mother, he didn't call to the governor, he didn't call to Pilate, he didn't call to whoever was closest to him, he called to God. He was reaching forth. So at the moment of your greatest pain, you reach to God. All right, you reach to God. That's the first thing. Then secondly, of course, find a community of people that can help you to navigate that season as it comes, because it's not going to be a one-time thing. I mean, if you were invested in that relationship or in that marriage, definitely you would feel the heart of it at the deepest level. So you know that it's going to take time to take a process. And please don't jump into another relationship trying to heal the previous one. It will not really work. I mean, it's just going to be like you are building on a faulty foundation, right? You want to be able to build on a foundation of healing. I always advocate both for singles, or for singles mostly anyway, that it's important to bring your whole self into your relationship that you're going to be in, either for friendship or even for marriage and all of that. So you want to, like I said before, you start by reaching to God with all of your heart. Reach to him, that God, you are the only one that can explain what has happened here and help me to navigate this. It's because betrayal is actually one of the biggest hurts that the human heart can feel. If somebody steals your phone or steals your money, after a while you get more money back, or get another phone, get another iPhone, get another Android phone. But when somebody hits at the core of your heart, particularly a covenanted relationship, oh my God, it's something that cuts to the core of your being, right? Even Jesus felt it. Jesus felt it. Like he said, "You betrayed me with a kiss." Like, I mean, it was like this guy that I called. I called him from the crowd to become my disciple. I called him to work with me for 3.5 years. I taught him how to heal the sick, how to raise the dead. Now He brought strangers to my hiding place because he knows everything about me, but it was just me. So when, and ultimately, just to end my thoughts again, even though we don't pray for betrayals, but if you look at the patterns of life in scripture, something, when betrayal happens, when the betrayed does not allow the bitterness to get into their heart, they end up becoming a better person. When Joseph was betrayed, he did not allow the bitterness to get into his heart, right? He was able to go through the process, and at the end of the day, he was even the one saving the people that betrayed him. So if now we don't pray for this, but if you are in that kind of situation that happened, right? So like I said, number one, reach to God. Number two, find a community of people. Number three, just believe that this will bring forth a different testimony from your life, a different result that you were not anticipating before. Yes, God can even probably heal that marriage. God can probably heal that person. God can probably bring a restoration, or something else will happen that will just be destiny shifting for you. You understand? So there's no hurt that cannot be healed. God can heal any hurt as long as you just reach to Him and find and God will bring people your way. Maybe a counselor, a therapist, a pastor, a mentor, a friend, a partner. He will not leave you comfortless, right? And you'll be able to, yes, you'll cry. Yes, you will have sleepless nights sometimes. You may even have some nightmares, right? You may even have some panic attacks and anxiety and all of those things that will happen to you, But again, finally, I'll say this, that never stop believing that a godly marriage is possible. A Christ-centered, pure, holy marriage with pure happiness, undiluted, is possible, right? Never lose. That it says that in book of Mark now, right? Mark 11, I believe, it says that that scripture is eluding my mind. I'm shocked. It says whatsoever things you desire, right? Whatsoever things you desire when you pray. So the desire is critical. So even if somebody breaks your heart, don't lose the desire. If you love the marriage and somebody broke your marriage or whatever, or maybe you made a mistake to break it or whatever, still have the desire. This is whatsoever you desire when you pray. Believe that you receive the happen. So the desire must not go off. You must keep the desire intact, and you'll see that it will become a testimony eventually.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Toby, for that. I'll just give a recap of what you shared. First of all, it's that you should not blame yourself for what you think you did wrong, because it's not the way to go. It's not the way to go. Then, secondly, find a community of people that can help you navigate that season. Thirdly, believe bigger that this phase will bring forth a destiny shifting testimony your way. And finally, never stop believing that an undiluted Christ centered marriage is possible. Thank you very much for that, Mr. Toby. We'll get back to your question in a bit, but let's move on to DVA. So, DVA, when you were speaking about friendship art, you mentioned you talked from someone who experienced it. But let's flip the coin to the other side. What of where you are the person who inflicted the hurt on the other party? How do you go about it? How can you rebuild trust? How can you get receive forgiveness? Yes, receive forgiveness from the person who is hurt. And how do we create boundaries for those on the other side of the hurt? How does the person now forgive, and how does the person create boundaries?
That's for the person that hurts another person, right?
Yes, the question has two sides. One is on the side of the person who inflicted the hurt, but has come to that realization that this thing I did was wrong. I really hurt this person and I want to do better. How does the person seek forgiveness, and what does the person need to do? Then on the other side, the person who was hurt, how does the person give that forgiveness and set boundaries to ensure that the person's heart is guarded against such events repeating itself?
Okay, I'm trying to remember if I've hurt someone to the point that they feel betrayed, or obviously I've had issues with friends, but um I don't know if I've gotten to that point. I can't really remember a certain example right now, but I know that with one of my female friends, we had in 2023 a very like how do I put it now? Not so good experience that we were almost at the verge of everybody go back to your father's house. This friendship thing is not by force, please. Let me just breathe, hold up, hold up. I think we got to that point, right? And it was from both ends, really. There was miscommunication, there was high expectations, probably unrealistic expectations. It just felt like, this thing we are just done, like, it was so painful for both of us. It was really really painful. So I don't know who I'll say hurt who in the whole scenario of thing, but I think later there was initially the hurt was caused by miscommunication, from both ends. And so in the midst of that miscommunication, there was now another wrong communication where that friend of mine said something that, hurt me. And I was literally like, okay, at this point, we are done. Like, I cherish this and I'm grateful for how far we have come, but I think I'm so hurt to let go of, this whole thing. So for the person that has hurt someone, here's what I'll say. Acknowledge that you've hurt this person. That's the first thing. Don't try to gaslight the person. Don't try to maneuver your way, just pretending like nothing happened, especially when you know that you are wrong. Some people try to do that and you just, now my guy now is my friend, some people don't know how to apologize. They just try to, or some people will try to maybe buy something to cover up, no, acknowledge. Don't, I'm trying to think of the right word now, but don't just try to pretend like it didn't happen. It did happen, and that's why the person was hurt in the first place. Acknowledge that you hurt this person. For instance, I'm going to cite an example in my marriage. If I do something wrong to my husband, I didn't know this initially. It was something that I had to learn in marriage, more like he taught me, and I'm just like, for peace to reign, I'll just say, sorry, don't be angry. I'm sorry. Am I sorry? Yes, I'm sincerely sorry. But I didn't have an understanding of the hurt he was feeling. I don't have an understanding of what I did in, details. And so he will say, don't just say I'm sorry, do you know what you did? Or you ask me, why are you apologizing? I'm like, because of what happened now. And he's like, no, what happened? Honestly, initially, I'm like, do you want the story or you don't want the story? Should we be going to her? I said, it was just like, oh, when you hurt someone, you say sorry, and the person accepts the sorry and move ahead. I had to literally like learn that it doesn't work that way. It for a relationship that you value, it doesn't work that way. And so my husband goes, this is what you did or what you said that made me feel this way or hurt me. This is what happened. So he spells it out, maybe the way I said something that I said, or the thing that I said in itself, or the words that I used. For instance, maybe I said, I'm trying to remember now. For instance, maybe I said, just leave me, something like that. And I just said it, and maybe he took it wrong. Apologies, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. Yes. Ma'am.
Oh, my apologies. I think my network kicked me out. So, and he highlights what I said. And so he says, the reason I'm highlighting this is so that you know in particular what you did that hurts me, so that you don't get to repeat it again. So I don't just want you to say sorry for saying sorry sake, but from a place of understanding. It says so that beyond saying the sorry, it helps you not to do it again, especially because he believes that, oh, I would not just, hurt him intentionally. So he's giving me that grace of you don't know, right? So, but I'm going to help you know, I'm going to help you understand in particular what you did. And so when you say sorry, you apologize from a place of understanding. So acknowledge that you hurt this person, understand what in particular you did or said that hurt this person, so that that way you're able to understand why the person is reacting the way they are reacting. Because if you don't understand from their own perspective, you will just try to say, "Ah, it's not a big deal now." Like I said before, I didn't used to understand. I'll just apologize for saying sorry sake. But when you understand the way what you said or how they did or how you reacted, you know what how they received it or how it came to them, you're able to understand that, okay, this is why they are reacting this way, this is why this thing hurts them this much, and then apologize from a place of understanding. And am I saying wait until they explain? Sometimes you don't get that opportunity to have that conversation. You still need to apologize, but don't apologize for apologizing sake. Apologize because you are remorseful, and you should be remorseful. Once you hurt someone, you should be remorseful. So even if you've not gotten the opportunity to have that conversation of, oh, what did I do, how did it make you feel, apologize from a place of remorse. Let them know that you are remorseful. Sometimes that is what will give you the room to have that conversation. So apologize from a place. So when I do something to my husband, and my husband, if he's upset, he doesn't want to talk about it immediately, so that he doesn't say things that he doesn't mean, and he's able to process his thought and say, oh, this and this. I'm just like, okay, I know you don't want to talk about it now, but I'm sorry, I apologize. And so we have that conversation, you know when we are able to have that conversation. So apologize from a place of remorse. And after you've apologized, one, either you get a room to have a conversation with them, or you don't get a room to have a conversation with them. Give them time. You can't force someone to forgive you or accept you back, especially if it has to do with breaking someone's trust. You would have to earn that trust again. You can't force them to trust you again. You would have to earn. So give them time, depending on the kind of relationship you have with that person. For instance, my husband is a person that, if you apologize, he knows you are remorseful, he knows you understand, and you apologize, you talk about it, he's good. You don't have to be apologizing every two AK market days. Oh baby, I'm sorry for this. Oh baby, no. He's literally like, oh, love keep no record of wrong. So he lets go of the wrong. We are not keeping record in
Hello, can we confirm that we can still hear DVA? Hello, Mr. Toby. Can you please help me confirm if you can still hear DVA?
I think our
Okay.
video is still or something.
Yes, it's frozen at the moment. Guess it's still the network. Okay. We'll give her time to get back in. And in the meantime, I'll just go into my question for you, Mr. Toby. My question for you. Okay, she's back. She's back. Okay. Not fully back. Okay. I'm just going to move to the question for Mr. Toby so we do not waste time. In the context of marriage, right? Uh, Partners, people experience partners who cheat on them, and some is even as bad as where despite the fact that they got married, legally did all the things they should do, and promised each other to be with each other forever. But when one party cheats and even goes as far as having another relationship that is actively investing in, while the other party is still in that marriage and hurt, what would you advise that the person who is hurting do in such a context?
All right. Again, these are very, very, very practical questions that people are definitely going through today, particularly the rate at which people are promoting promiscuity and cheating, making it sound so cool. You understand? So if as a partner you are with someone that is already showing signs of this or tendencies for this, or you already have evidence with you around this, the best thing to do is to start by confronting this issue, not the person. Right. So, because in the case of confronting the person, which you actually have every right to do, I mean, of course, person is your partner, your husband, your wife. I mean, you have every right to confront the person. Now, I'm your husband, I'm your spouse. Why should you do that? But as much as possible, um, while the hurt is real and the pain will be burning in your heart, you want to confront the issue square on. It can be a simple conversation. Call a sit down. Call a sit down. Like address the elephant in the room. Don't first start by telling your friends and your partner, oh, this is what I saw on my husband's phone, this is what I saw on my wife's phone, this is what I saw on no, or going on social media and typing it to one of these blogs, all these blogs that they will say hide my ID, and they will start telling the story of their life to a stranger on the internet, and people will be giving you random advice that doesn't even correlate with your situation at all. Then you just become more confused because they would give you what does not even serve you. And I see such things happen everywhere, that people will take sensitive marital information and put it on somebody's blog, and person will be opening, I mean, that's like opening your heart to attacks that you don't even need at that particular time. So you want to be able to sit down in secret with that person, call a meeting with your husband or with your spouse, and you're seeing these signs with, sit down with him or her, talk. This is what you have noticed. These are the patterns that you have seen. You know, and even if you've not even had such real conversations in the past as a partner, as a couple, this might just be an opportunity for you to have that serious conversation, because the conversation itself and the atmosphere that you set to have the conversation is critical to what would happen eventually. Either there will be a resolution, or there would be, I mean, there has to be a resolution eventually, somehow, if you create a positive conversational atmosphere with that person, not attacking the person. Oh, how can you do this? You are the man, you're the father of this home. Yes, you are right to do that, but it won't get you anywhere. So you want to sit down with the person, have the conversation, what you have noticed, what you have seen. Oh, you were calling this person at 11 p.m. yesterday, and the lady is supposed to be your secretary in the office. Why are you talking to her? Or this guy that you call your driver, how come he's buying you flowers? I mean, things like that. You want to sit down and start talking about what you have seen, because once you start talking in that kind of correct atmosphere, the person that is probably under questioning or whatever would be able to begin to become more vulnerable and talk about what has been happening. It could be that it was a mistake or was about to happen, and you call that. So if you start by accusing the person, you definitely would not get a positive response. Even if the person is guilty or not, you will not get a direction or a way forward. So I would say number one, call a sit down with that person. All right, number one question. And number two, don't expose your issue on the outside to the wrong parties. If you have a mentor, like a marriage mentor or a very close, maybe a pastor that you have in your life as a couple, yes, then you can, just give them a hint after a while of after you're talking to that person and there is a headway or not, you can then reach out to your partner to your mentor and say, oh, mentor, this is what's happening. Just share a brief with them. I want to come and see you to discuss this matter. The Bible says that in the multitude of counselors, there is safety. So you want to have such systems around your life and say, okay, I'm going to talk about this thing with this person. And those people too would also shield your matter and provide quality, tailor-made counsel to that relationship or to that marriage that would probably be the saving grace for that marriage eventually. And in the case where the partner is actually already has already broken the edge in a sense, has gotten somebody else, and the person is even visible to you, it's still that same matter. You still have to talk about it. Go back to the drawing board of how you started together as a couple. Did the person show signs that they were going to have a second or a third or a fourth wife or a concubine somewhere, right? And in that talk, really, honestly, everything boils down to conversations. Actually, in that conversation, you would know the roadmap. Some people can say, okay, well, I'm separating from you, I'm divorcing from you, or we're going to fight this together till we get a resolution. All right. So I said before, first of all, have the conversation. Number two, don't expose it to the wrong audience, either online or offline. And number three, find a system of accountability, maybe a mentor, a pastor, some counselors that you can actually walk up to, and you guys sit down together and trash it out. Because honestly speaking, even in family, it's very expensive to fund a fling or an affair. Honestly, ask any man that is doing it today; they will tell you like it definitely is an expensive adventure to run, because they have kids at home, they have a wife, they have maybe bills to pay. Even if they have surplus, the fact that you are sharing your attention with somebody else, you can never give your best. The Bible says that you can't serve two masters, literally. So sometimes it's not even attacking the person, it's making the person coming from a place of wisdom and say, is this what you want for your future? Like you try to detach yourself as it were. It's very hard, and this is what I'm saying, it's very hard. But making the person see the wisdom in and the folly in their decision and the wisdom in them doing the right thing. See, yes, you may be enjoying your side chick now, 2-3 side chicks here and there and everything. But when you fall sick, I can assure you that man, all his side chicks will disappear. It's the wife that you have been betraying and the kids that you have been abandoned that will still must stay within the hospital. Because life is not all about pleasure. There's a side of pleasure and pain. And it's family and friends and close friends that show up in the point of your pain and your adversity. So I believe that there's a level of wisdom that can be compared to a cheating man or a cheating spouse that the edge will reset, right? And that also means that for those who are singles on the call, I always ask every of the singles that I have a chance to talk to or they're about to get married, I said, guy, do you have a mentor that you both of you submit to or that you will be submitting to after? I ask every single that I speak to, whether as friends or as church members, as in I ask, that's my first question. Because see, if you don't have a system for accessing wisdom, all right, you keep making foolish decisions. And no matter how smart I am, maybe I read a lot of books, I write books, I have a lot of things that I know that I've read and they're going to school, all of these things, I still am aware of my ignorance. So I have systems for accessing wisdom. I know who to call now if I'm struggling with the decision making. I just pick up my phone and call Mrs. So call Dr. So and so. I just know who to talk to, and I know that after that call or to go and see them. After that meeting, I can assure you that I'm coming back home loaded with counsel to know what to do. So before you even get married, you already have these systems of accessing wisdom for your journey, so that when such things happen, wisdom can correct wrong behavior, can save an almost broken marriage. It can make a man repent, as it were, from cheating and counsel all his side chicks and say, this thing that I heard from this woman, from this man, from this person, I'm stopping, and they will apologize. So there's nothing that cannot be redeemed. And afterwards, of course, you would now definitely still have to work on your heart as a partner that has been betrayed. You have to now work on your heart to be able to accept the man or the woman back. because some men cannot accept a cheating wife after they have, after it has happened. Some women cannot, all right. But there's a way that it can be done, because there's nothing that cannot be repaired. You understand? So, but it all boils down to what you want, and what future that you want for yourself, for your spouse, for your, for your kids, if you already have kids. You understand what I'm saying? So I'll just say that, just to end my thoughts here, I'll just say that it's all about wisdom. Wisdom is the principal thing. So even if partner is cheating, wasting time, and breaking the edge and all of that, his head can be correct, our head can be correct once they access a level of light, right? Honestly, honestly, once they can access a level of light, reset is possible. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. KB, for that. Thank you very much. I think one thing I really picked to be that the conversation is important, but where you have the conversation is also as important. And then we should chase wisdom. Wisdom is a principal thing. I love that you touched on how we should have mentors even before getting into marriage, because we need systems of accountability even before we get into the issues that comes with marriage. Thank you very much, Mr. Sobi, for that. Okay, so DVA is back with us. DVA, hello, can you hear?
I can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, good, thank you. So can we continue from where you stopped? You've talked about the part the person who hurts others has to play. But can we now move to the part of the person who has been hurt?
Okay, so for the person who
For
has
the
been
person who
hurt,
has been hurt.
here's what I'll say. Um, yes, you've been hurt, and staying there is not going to heal the hurt. For the person that has hurt you, you need to be willing to forgive. Extend grace to the person, knowing that we also receive forgiveness from God. There's a part in our Lord's Prayer that says, "Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us." We also err. We also, I mean, have our own wrongdoings, and we are not perfect. We're all working towards becoming like Christ. So you need to be willing to forgive that person. You need to be willing to extend grace to the person who has offended you. And in drawing boundaries, especially in situations where trust has been broken, you it's, how do I put it, let the person earn your trust again. So the fact that forgiveness is not, um I forgive you and I trust you again, or you are back in my space. No. Forgiveness is freedom. Forgiveness is letting go. Forgiveness is freeing yourself from that prison of hurt. But the person needs to earn your trust again. For some people, you might actually even need to deal with them from afar. They don't need to be back in your life, depending on the kind of hurt. Depending on the kind of hurt, you necessarily don't have to bring them back in your life. But let's say for friends that you know that, oh, this is a one-time thing, and yes, it hurt you, but you value this relationship, you value this friendship. it, you might not get there immediately, but you should be willing to extend grace to them. If you are willing to work, the friendship is possible. Like Mr. Toby says, there's nobody that God cannot heal. There's nobody that cannot receive healing from God. There's no pain that Jesus cannot heal. But another thing is, are you willing to receive that healing? Are you willing to receive that help? So if it's for friendship, or let's say partnership, as a counselor, I know that infidelity recovery is something that happens. People have recovered from infidelity, families have recovered from infidelity, because both parties were willing to walk through, both the offender and the person that was offended. They were willing to walk through, and it's not a one-day process, but you realize that some of these people recover from it and they're even doing well. So it shows that the person that was offended was willing, really valued that marriage and hold it there. and trusted God in the life of that person. Because honestly, it's not just about you, really. The fact that someone is willing to, work things out with you, it also talks about them, their values, how they value your relationship with them. And so it's a two-way thing for you to, do you value that relationship, to want to give it a try. So if it's something that you hold dear to your heart, then you need to be willing to actually walk through that journey of healing, and building trust in that person, while they also work towards earning your trust. But if it's something that you know that is toxic and you don't need to, you also need to forgive, but you probably would need to deal with that person from afar and set necessary boundaries in place. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, DV. Thank you very much for that response. We need to, as the RT, you need to be willing to forgive as Christ forgave, and then allow the person earn your trust again. And finally, be willing to walk through the the rebuilding process of the relationship. Now, I'm going to address this next question to two speakers, to Mr. Toby and to DVA. I will take it from DVA since you mentioned it, which is the path of boundaries. Yes, sometimes you don't want to reconcile. Sometimes you want to reconcile, but you also want to put in place boundaries. Now, we agree that boundaries are critical to the post-trauma process, but how can we set these boundaries in a way that we don't appear cold or unforgiving?
Okay, so I know earlier when Mr. Toby was talking, he mentioned having conversations. It's necessary to have conversations. Um I think not having the conversation is even going to appear more cold, because you might begin to act in a way that the other person doesn't understand, and then you're giving up energy that you have not communicated. But having that conversation, the person is able to understand your standpoint. They When you take some certain actions, they understand, because you've had that conversation with them. So for instance, someone hurt me or said something demeaning about my body, and it hurt me so much, we've gone back and forth, I've let go, I've forgiven, and then I'm like, oh, I would not appreciate again moving forward that you say anything demeaning about my body or about me. I do not appreciate it. And so if the person goes ahead to do that again, and I address it immediately, or leave the conversation or something, the person shouldn't be surprised, because I've addressed it, I've mentioned it. And so I don't get angry or react out of character, I step out of that conversation, or I address it immediately, like, oh, I do not appreciate this, I do not appreciate that. So having the conversation is very necessary. It is very, very necessary to have the conversation. For people that let's say are married, e.g., people that are going through infidelity, you have to come open. That's the person that cheated. You have to come open. There's no hide. You cannot. You have to be accountable. You have to be accountable to the person, to your partner. You have to be accountable to people you're accountable to, let's say your mentors. There's nothing like, oh, my password is secret to my phone and all of that and all of that. I'm going somewhere, I can't tell my wife. No, you have to be open. Oh, I'm going somewhere, I can't tell my husband. And so the other person who was cheated on, have to be willing. Is a self thing, because there's a way that if this person that has hurt you is trying everything to earn your trust, and you don't want to trust that person again, there's nothing the person can do. you cannot the person can't force trust into your heart if you're not open to, trusting the person. So you have to be open, you have to be willing. Yes, necessary boundaries have been set in place, but you have to communicate. Let's say you feel, oh, this certain thing is making you feel insecure, it's reminding you of what has happened. Communicate. It's better to communicate than just acting and being cold. And in your communication, don't come from a place of don't come from a place of judgment. Don't be judgmental in your conversation, in your communication. Don't be judgmental. If you truly have given that person grace, if you've truly forgiven that person, then it should show in your communication. And so when you're saying, oh, I've forgiven you, and this person, two people now, a husband and wife, dealing with infidelity, and let's say the wife cheated on the husband, and then the wife is, asking for forgiveness, and the husband has forgiven, and so the husband has extended grace. They are walking through that journey. The husband is like, okay, you cannot keep late night, you can't do this, you can't do that. They've come to that terms and all of that. And then maybe something happens, the wife is out late, the husband is not going to come and say, oh, you are out, who knows, maybe you are cheating on me, you are doing this. No, you can't move past it that way. You're going to, come from a different approach. Oh, why did you stay out late? You're coming from an approach of, oh, I've given this person grace, so I'm choosing to trust this person, I want to hear from this person. Yes, you've set boundaries. Being cold about it, being is, when you set these boundaries, you set these boundaries and you're going against it, blah blah blah. No room for expression, no room for, conversation and all of that. But you're choosing to trust this person, and you're saying, oh, okay, what happened, why are you late, this and this. Okay, you being late is making me feel uncomfortable, it's making me feel some certain type of way. Have the conversation. You're not being aggressive, you're not attacking the person in your conversation. You're being respectful, you're being graceful, you're not being judgmental. So having that conversation is the best way, or one of the best ways, to set boundaries. And in having conversation, being graceful in your conversation, not being aggressive, not attacking, not being judgmental. You don't have to act cold. Communicate. I say communication is a lubricant for every relationship. Communication is like the best way, because truly, if you don't communicate, some people might not even get the boundaries you're trying to set. If you're using body language or assumption that they will get because they've offended you before, so they should know that they shouldn't try it again. So people will keep doing it if you don't spell it out. So you need to have a conversation. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Divya, for that amazing conversation. And the conversation must be had with grace, respect, love, and peace. Thank you very much for that, DVA. Okay, let's hear from Mr. Toby. How do we set the boundaries? Okay, I just got kicked out. Okay, this is. We'll just go to the next question for DVA while we wait for Mr. Toby to join us, and would have him take. Okay, he's back. He's back. He's back. Okay. Hello, Mr. Toby. Welcome back. Welcome back. Okay, thank you, sir. So the question was, how do we set these boundaries? How do we establish boundaries without seeming cold, without being cold or unforgiving?
Yeah. Awesome. So boundaries are critical, right? Boundaries are the way we protect ourselves and all that. So boundaries are important. Let me just put it that way. So it's just the method to the creation of the boundaries that matters, and also the mindset behind it. So some people, in a bid to create boundaries, they build walls around themselves, and nobody can access, and they too can't even access people because they are fenced out in a sense. So a boundary should be thought about like a gate, not like a wall. So, for instance, if I build a house right now, I cannot build a house without having a door or a gate to guard, my going in and my going out. So, a boundary is not a wall or a fence; it's a gate. So people have access. So there's a way that you can have access. So for instance, you can have a gate man at your gate. That's it. That's okay. If somebody wants to come and see me or call me on the intercom before they climb my stairs to come and meet me at the gate at my door, that's a boundary. So a boundary is a system that you create around your life that can be accessible when people meet certain kind of criteria. For instance, now, if I want to call your number, your phone, I have to have a phone. I have to have data on my phone or credit on my phone. And I also have to have your phone number before I can call you. That's like a 4 or 5 step, way to get to call you on the phone from wherever I am in the world. So the same way as well, too, you have to create a system. Back then, that we were going through counseling. That's myself, my wife, our counseling journey. Then our counselor was giving us a scenario of how we should lead our family, and she said that think of your family as a nation. Now, we have first world nations, we have second world nations, we have third world nations. Now, the green passport cannot access certain countries. No matter how wealthy you are, they will tell you that you're holding a green passport. But the US now, right? There's a way that if you have a US passport, you can enter into any country. But for you to enter into US is a very serious matter. You have to maybe have some money, about maybe 50 million in your account. You have to have maybe a scholarship offer from there. You have to go through different examinations before you can qualify to even come in. Not to talk of being a citizen of the country. All right. So she was saying that think of yourself as a first world nation, that you create criteria for how people should access your family. For instance, not everybody should be able to come into your house to come and stay and say, and Tobi, I'm coming to come and stay with you for the next 3 months. How come? How did you qualify to become someone that can just call me and say, I want to come and stay for 3 months? I mean, who are you? How are you? I mean, even if you are my great grandfather, I mean, what gives you the right to just call me at 3 a.m. and say you want to come and stay with me for the next 3 months? I mean, there has to be. So, like, typically, you have to create a system, right, around how people qualify to come into your life. And even if something has happened negatively, maybe somebody broke your heart, somebody did something to you that I didn't like. Now, the way you create the boundaries now is not to fence people out, is to vet the kind of people that should come or that can come into your space part time, either virtually or even physically. So it is that mindset that because if you create a fence, you also fence out people that might be your helpers or that should help you to get to a new level in your life. So you want to create gates and systems for qualification. All right. You want to create systems. There are the people that I call today like that. In some of these people that I work with in my business, and they don't pick calls from a number that they don't know. That's their own way of life, because they have grown so big that only if they know you that they can respond to you if you call their number. So I will probably talk to someone that knows them that I know that please tell this man or this woman that Tobi is going to call them at a time. So they have to do like an intro for me to be able to get into their space. That is their own boundary they have made for themselves, right? Okay, yes, so I'm open, but before I can pick your call, I have to know what you are calling me for, who you are, and who knows you. That all of this kind of things. So, in the same way as well, you have to create a system that works for your life, for your relationship, and if it's even if it's a friend that maybe broke your heart or whatever, the self same way too. You don't want to just chase people away. You want to have a gate system, and it's okay if this person wants to be my friend. It's fine. But do we have the same values? Do we have the same direction? Do we have the same interest? At least to an extent, there has to be some alignment. A similarity has to be in the work somewhere, somehow, that would help that will help the friendship to become a valuable one that will actually add value to you and to the other person as well. So don't create walls, create gates, just create a system through which people can still access you. Just like you can access the US because you want to have, even if I have the money to buy a ticket to the US today, and I buy a ticket tonight, I can just go on and just buy a ticket down to the US. But if I get to the airport, trust me, they are turning me back. They will first ask me, do you have a visa? And they invite you to come and do evaluation. They will ask you, what gave you the audacity to come to the airport to come out? Even if I paid the tickets, I can pay online, this and like that. But that doesn't qualify me to get into the US because I don't have the required documentations to access the nation. So the same way as also, even if someone tells you, I want to be your friend, I want to be your bestie, I want to even be your whatever I want to be, that's a good option. But have you fulfilled the rest of the qualifications to access my life in this particular way. So you want to protect your peace, protect your heart, while not fencing people out as well. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Seeing boundaries as a gate and not a fence is very, very important. I never thought about seeing it as a gate. I mean, I understand what boundaries are, but seeing it as a gate gives the different light that we're not just obstructing people from coming in, we're not just blocking people from coming in, but we are creating a system whereby we are filtering who can come in, how they can come in, because we still need to have a key to open the door that brings them in. And that's very important. Thank you so much, Mr. Toby, for that. Okay, okay. Let's leave boundaries for a while. Let's come into something else. I'm going to direct this question to Mr. Toby. And this one is related to heartbreak, what Nigerians like to call breakfast. For some persons, they keep going through the same patterns and cycles of heartbreak without knowing why they keep going through the same cycles. They may not even know that they are going through cycles, like the same pattern, it's repeating themselves. So, for those who have experienced serial heartbreak, what might be the underlying patterns or wounds that need to be addressed, that need to be fixed before they can attract and sustain healthy, loving relationships? Mr. Toby, you are currently mute. The mic is currently
So
muted.
that's also for me as well. Okay, great. So let me just respond to that. So cycles. I used to say something. I would say that. I would say the reason why people have a lot of exes is because they don't know their whys. So there's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, X, Y. So if you would end up having too many X's if you don't have a clear Y. Now it sounds like a very nice rhyme to just say, but it's actually a deep thing because people think that they just have to be in a relationship once they get to a particular age or once they feel like they're ready to get married. They just feel like it's just by default. I should just get into a relationship and just get married. So there is no personalized why. There is no, I don't know how to put that. There's no template. All they have is just a spec. Oh, he has to be tall, or he has to be rich, or she has to be this, she has to be fair, she has to be. So a spec is not a why. I mean, you can have a spec and still. I mean, a spec is not a why. A spec is just a desire. You just want the person to. And a spec is all about the physical structure or what the person has in terms of material. Maybe they have a car, they have a house, they have some 7 figure in their account, or they're handsome or they're beautiful. That's just the package. That is just the container. Nobody buys Coke because of the bottle. They buy Coke because of the content. Literally. So the why speaks to the content of the person. That okay, this is the kind of person or the kind of marriage I want to have. Right. So and most people don't even date for marriage. Like, in fact, I'm saying so many things together in my mind. I have so many thoughts coming to my mind at the same time. So many people date for dating, not dating for marriage. Because if you have an intention to date to marry, you would say so many no's to many requests because it doesn't align with your end goal. Right? Honestly, for me, I was happy to be single for a long time. I said, God, the next person I am dating is the person I'm getting. I don't have time to be doing doing midnight call with 10 different ladies for 10 years. I mean, I'm just going around the clock and spending money for dates and giving, and above all things, the most expensive thing that we share in our relationship is actually our emotions, right? So I was not ready to be doing all of those things up and down, right? So if you want to break the cycle of heartbreaks, many times start with why, and that why speaks to God's vision for your marriage, speaks to what you truly desire in that journey, right? And of course, your spec may come in somewhere later, but that's like at the bottom of the list. The why is like literally the major thing. Then, of course, you date with the intention to get married. So if you meet a girl that comes your way, or a lady comes your way, just that should be the thing that you're looking out for, that is this person dating, or does she look like she's gonna get married in the next 1 or 2 years, and all of that. So if you have that picture in your mind and the person aligns with that kind of mindset, because it takes two who are in the same direction or thinking in the same way to be able to work together correctly. All right, so breaking that cycle starts from that. Start with your why. Start with your why. It's very, very important. Then of course, secondly, you need to do a lot of self-awareness, because sometimes we attract who we are, not what we want. And this thing I'm saying is a very crazy thing, because hey God, you may be asking for something in with your conscious mind. I say, God, I want a man that is God-fearing, that is a cool-headed guy, is kind, is patient, is is given to service and all of that, is a very, is a giver, is a philanthropy, whatever. You may have that as your vocal conscious prayer point, but your unconscious mind is repelling that kind of person. I'm telling you, like, I want to be able to break this down in the next 1 minute or so. If I can do that, because I need time is fast spent. That your subconscious mind is repelling that person and attracting all that kind of person. Okay, so yesterday I was in a program, and somebody asked a question, and she said that how come she's is always attracting guys that are always asking for sex all the time. That she wants a guy that's that is going to head towards marriage, but all the people that come around that way that she likes are people that are asking for sex. That's not like that's the problem. Somewhere inside of you have a likeness for certain kind of guys. But those kind of guys carry a certain kind of value that doesn't align with what you're actually vocally and consciously praying for. So our likeness is what is actually attracting people, not our prayer point. So until what she's consciously praying about becomes a subconscious desire, she'll keep on attracting what she likes, not what she's actually praying about. If you can get this thing, then your life will change, because it is not only what you are saying that you want that will happen to you, is what you're actually unconsciously saying, because she'll be repelling people that she's actually praying about, but she'll be attracting those that she likes, that her flesh actually likes, and she's not complaining. How come these guys that they want to come? It's because that is what you are calling without you. By what you are saying, after you pray, is what shows where your heart really is. So you might be saying, that's okay. Some ladies might be, God have mercy, right? I want to share a very interesting example that may help somebody, maybe now or in the future. Now, there's a subconscious belief, right? Some ladies, and right, about, for instance, now in the area of sex, for instance, they are scared that, this guy, hope he will be able to, be good in bed, e.g., like for instance, these are valid things that Christian sisters actually have in their mind, because they are pursuing celibacy, right, as the Bible and all of that. But in their mind, there's that fear that, hey, I used to hear about these things online. What if? So even if they are still single, for instance, that fear is there, all right? So they might be in that subconscious might be attracting men that may be Christian, but they are still asking for sex. Because somewhere in her heart, she's still having a fear that, this person that I'm going to be with, or that I might be with, might have an issue in this particular area. Now, I'm using an example here to just tell you what I'm thinking about in my head, to get what I'm saying. All right. So our prayer is, I want a God-fearing man. But the fear is attracting a kind of man that can respond to that fear, in a sense, by asking for that. Is someone getting what I'm saying? I'm trying very hard to decode my thoughts, really, to explain what I'm thinking. That the fear is attracting the wrong person, but your conscious mind is praying the right thing. Just like Job in the Bible, right? Bible says that Job was he was a righteous man. He was doing all of these amazing things, right? But Bible says that he was doing these things, right, because he thought that his kids were doing the wrong thing wherever they were. He was afraid for them, and his fear came upon him, eventually. So even though he was praying actively, his fear was what was exploited by the devil to be able to bring about that reality in his life eventually. Anyway, I've said too many things in that point. I hope somebody got what I said. So I said that you have to work to ensure that your conscious beliefs and your conscious prayer desires are in alignment with what your unconscious mind is saying. All right. It says that a man that's the book of James now, that you cannot just be like the wind. Like you have to be constant. And I will say finally on this point, and this is something that helped me in my single journey. I totally trusted that God will give me the best. Oh my God. If you can believe this, God have mercy. Like, even if 10,000 handsome guys walk away from you, oh my God, it doesn't matter. The person that will show up will beat all of them hands down. You must believe that God has the best. Oh my, if you can have this mindset, I bet you I can say I can almost swear if I could say that. I can almost swear that you will get the best. Just believe that God has the best spouse for you. So even if you have had those cycles of breakups for the past 5, 6 years, just pause and enjoy your singleness, and tell God that, God, I trust whoever you bring my way, that person will hit the mark, spirit, soul, and body, and will break all my records. Because I mean, person I got married to, she broke all my records 100 times over. Why? I trusted that God will supersede my expectations. I totally trusted it, that God will give. I deserve God. See, if He spared not His own Son, how shall He not also with Him freely give me all things? So I mean, if God gave me the best, He gave me His best, how much more a human being? Right? So you want to have this mindset. So all of these things boils down to what your heart is. As a man thinketh in his heart, as a woman thinketh in her heart, so she is, or so he is. Right? So start with your why. Right? Number two, align your desires correctly. And number three, trust God. Trust that God has the best man and the best woman out there that has been framed, trained, crafted, designed, and prepared specifically for you, not for you, tailor-made, custom-made, delivered to your doorstep. I mean, and the way they will come, oh my God, there will be almost no physical effort on your part, because it will just be supernatural. You just walk into them. So just stay in your purpose, stay in your assignment, stay in what God has called you to do, and to be serving in God's house, serving your assignment, doing what God has called you to do, whether your place of work, in church, or whatever ministry, whatever thing it is. Just keep expressing your what God is leading you to do now. Stay there, and the person that needs to meet you will meet you there. Thank you very much.
Okay, now that was so good. Like you even answered questions I had not gotten to. Thank you so much, Mr. Tobi. This thing about enjoying the single season, my God, it will save a lot of people from a lot of trouble. I mean, for me, I noticed that there was a pattern, and I had to like, okay, let's step back, let's assess this thing. What is going on here? And now I'm enjoying my singleness to the fullest. Like I'm at the point of like, even if like don't come, I'm just going to enjoy this thing called working with God, because our first purpose is to live for Christ, to proclaim Christ to the world. And if I stay on that one, I'm fine. But then God also has the best. Like one of my friends always tells me that God has sons and God has daughters, and He will definitely send the best to you as long as you're working in your purpose. Thank you so much, Mr. Tobi, for that. That was so good. Okay, we're going to get to our final question for DVA, then we'll have our final question for both speakers. Our time is fast spent, and I would not want to keep us here any longer than our proposed time. So for DVA, oh my God, my question for you is going to be on. I'm going to come to spousal aught in your case too, because you've mentioned a lot about fidelity, healing, and all of that. So, in cases where all hope, I know that we've said, oh, no case cannot be redeemed. Every case can be repaired. But what happens where the odds party is too tired, is fed up, like has given up, that he or she doesn't want to even fight anymore, but the person still wants to stay, especially where kids are involved? What would you advise such a person to do? Like the person is exhausted, as but does not want to. divorce because of kids, but is broken and keeps being heartbroken by the other spouse.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank
So
you. So
one of my core mission as a counselor is to end the rate of divorce, and that is something that I'm working towards. And so, as much as yes, I am, working towards ending the rate of divorce in situations like this. Before we even talk about divorce, we talk about separation. Truth is, um, as hard as it may sound, this is not something that everybody is open to because of the part of the world that we are in. Once you just hear separation, there's stigma. You see people die in marriages, abusive marriages, because of the stigma of separation or divorce, because of what people will say, because of this. You see people live in frustration. I say this: God has use of your life more than you dying in an abusive marriage. He values your life so much. He has use for your life. He has use for you. And so if separation is going to keep you alive to fulfill God's purpose for your life, then we are going to take that route. And so if this person has prayed, if this person has, gone to look for counseling, and it feels like at that point even counseling is not working because the other party keeps on abusing, keeps on now abusing, not just physical alone, keeps on hurting the person. Let me use that word. Keeps on hurting the person, and the person will give grace. The partner would misuse it and abuse the grace that has been given. Then it is not advisable to stay in that marriage even when kids are involved. And so that's why there's room for separation. That's not divorce. Separation is, we are not yet officially divorced, but we are not staying under the same roof literally. Like, let's just take time off, because even in the court of law, before they process divorce, normally the way it should go is 2 years first. And in that 2 years, they are trying to mediate and trying to see how things can work out and see if there's a solution before they officially now, grant the whole divorce process and everything. And so let the person go. As hard as it may sound, as unpleasing as it may sound, let the person go. For you, for the children, and even for the person. Because if you stay after so many hurts, you begin to resent the person. And if you are not careful, you begin to transfer that aggression to your children. You begin to resent the children that even came from that union. And so you need to let the person go, free yourself. And I'm saying this because I know that it is not what most people would like to hear, and it's not what most counselors would like to say. But like I said, if you've prayed and like you asked, yes, God can heal everything, but this person has given grace, but the partner keeps misbehaving, keeps abusing the grace. It is not advisable to stay in that kind of marriage. Let's take a step to separation. Yes, it's not going to be easy for the children, but it's better that they know that they have wholesome parents individually than staying in a marriage that their both parents are resentful and it's having negative impact on them. They see their dad happy separately, they see their mom happy separately, is okay. And maybe even while separated, the person that has been abusing and been taking advantage of the grace you know come back to their senses, let me put it that way, and God can touch their hearts, and then they can now begin to repent and work towards making everything right again with their partner. It doesn't necessarily mean the other partner that has been hurt has to accept. No, because I mean, if they've been hurt constantly, it takes the grace of God. It really takes the grace of God. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It takes the grace of God, because hurting someone once, and it's people that are dear to us that when they hurt us, it gets to us the most. And so hurting someone once, twice, three times, I mean, some people go ahead 4 5, and it just feels like it is now in their nature. It will literally take the grace of God for the person that has been hurt to say, I let go. No, the person will have to even go through therapy, because you think, oh, I've let go, and when you come back into that marriage, revenge is what you want to do. And so I know Mr. Tobi had mentioned earlier, I'm going to paraphrase, that revenge should not be what you're targeting. If you're healing, let go. If you are trusting back, it's good, but not from the place of I want to revenge. So let me make this person feel like I've trusted them, and then I hit back. And so separation, especially for marriage. If you are not married, you have no business to get married to that person. Just go back to your father's house and wait on God for the right person. But if you're married and this hurt has been happening, you've gone for counseling, you've asked the person to seek help too, but it just feels like, because actually, even the people that hurt people, sometimes they are not even able to help themselves from hurting that person. And so they also need therapy. They might not even realize how much damage, and they can also be suffering from something. I used to say nobody just appears from heaven or comes from heaven with baggages or hurts. They've gone through something, they've had experiences that led them to where they are, and is making them act the way they're acting. So they also need help. They also need counseling. Some people are open to receiving counseling, some people are not open to receiving counseling. But if you know that this is detrimental to your emotional health, mental health, physical health, spiritual health, or any health, it's good that you separate. It might not be easy for the kids, like I said, and it might not even be easy for you, because this is someone you love, this is someone you've invested in, you've invested time, you invested body, soul, and spirit. But like I said, God has use of your life. And so if separation is going to make you fulfill God's purpose for your life, then take that step. And in the process of taking this step, don't give up on praying. Don't give up on seeking help. Even there's a way that you would pray for this person and God can transform the person. If the other person who is hurting someone is not willing to receive help, is not willing to work towards changing, no one can force change on him. And so you have to live with that reality. I've seen a lot of people, especially our parents' age, a lot of either both men and women stay in marriages that were of no use to them because of the children, in quotes. And then they are hurting. They are not fulfilling their life's purpose. They are, honestly, for me, the mindset I have is that God will not take your partner as an excuse for the reason why you didn't fulfill purpose. That's like the mindset I live with. So I know someone might say, let me deviate a little bit. Oh, I've been called into ministry. My husband is not allowing me to do ministry. That's a whole different ball game. That's a whole different conversation. But in this context, that the person abuse you, keep hurting you, it affects your emotional state, mental state, and you even lose your life. You account for, especially when it can be prevented, you account for purpose, for what God has sent you to do. So if it's something that can be prevented, let's take the route that leads to prevention. And so, which I say separation. I'm not saying divorce straight, because I believe that it can still work out. But if after a while of separation and it just isn't still working out, then by all means divorce, because there's no need holding on to each other forever if you know that this is not working. So Yeah, that's what I'm going to recommend. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, DVA. Separation is an option, and yeah, that's really landed. Thank you so much, DVA. So my final question for both of you is this: for the singles on the call, because we do have singles, whether they are dealing with heartbreak or they're not, there's still singles on the call. Give the singles just one advice, and we would love to have it as various pieces of advice to the singles on the call. So let's start with DVA, then we'll close out with Mr. Toby. One advice for the singles in the house.
Okay, so I'm going to start by
Okay, so
saying
I'm going to start by
if
saying
you're single,
if you're
there's something my mentor used to say, and so I'm going to say it here. If you're single, clap for yourself. And I want you to do that literally, like clap for yourself. And why I say that is because singleness is a gift, and you have a power that married people don't have, and take good advantage of it. And here's why I say so. If you're single, you still have the right, the power to make the right decision. You have the power to make the right decision. So take advantage of that power that you have. Don't get married because someone is saying you should or because you're feeling pressured. No. And one of the best advice that I would give a single person is, in this line of healing, is heal before you deal. And is very necessary so you don't pass on trauma that now becomes a generational thing. In this aspect of healing, there are so many advice that are coming to my head right now, but based on this particular topic that we are dealing with, heal before you deal. Marriage is for two wholesome people, not half whole, half whole. Now come and make them whole. No, it's not 50-50. You're not bringing 50 and your partner is bringing 50. You're bringing 100, your partner is bringing 100. And so heal before you deal, so that you don't pass on trauma. You know, recently I came across a video by our coach, DDK, and she was talking about how that a lot of us used to say, oh, our parents are our background. For people that are now parents, we are now the background. And so that your children don't refer to you as the background that passed trauma to them. Heal before you deal. Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much, DVA. Heal before you deal, because once you get into marriage, you can't blame your parents. You are now the background. And there's one way I like to see it, that when you're single, you can flinch, or if you want to blame, you can blame because you're yet to start taking responsibility. But when it comes to marriage, you're now you're building a new nation, and you determine how that nation is going to be built. So, as the governor of that nation, how do you want the nation to be built? So, thank you very much, DPA, for that. Now, let's have Mr. Toby. Now, the piece of advice does not have to be related to just healing. It could be just generally to singles in the house, because we do have singles in the house.
Yeah, advice for singles. I'll just say enjoy your singleness. Really, all right. There's no other season apart from this that you would have again that would make. I mean, there's not that season again that you would have apart from this season. So whether you're 25 or 30, whatever the age is, just enjoy. Don't leave your singleness anxious about the married life or anxious to get married. Honestly, you don't want to do that, because You miss out on developmental phases of your life if you live all your single years or half of your single years one desiring to get married. I mean, it just doesn't work. So you want to enjoy. Of course, I don't miss my single life. I'm not saying that I miss my single life. No. And the reason why I don't miss it is because I maximized it. I thoroughly used it out, right? I built a lot of friendship and relationships with people that are like my team members across different things that I do currently, business wise, impact wise, church wise. I spent quality time with my younger ones, with my parents. So, I mean, I don't miss it. Why? Because I enjoyed it. I enjoy my married life more because I mean this is what I'm living now, right? So, but I can say this because I was not overly anxious about, oh God, I want to get married tomorrow. Of course, the desire was there. I mean, I had strong desire for that, but the desire was not so overwhelming that I was now, just just living like I was living purposeful. That's what I'm just saying. I was just enjoying my singleness. So I don't miss my singleness. But if you don't enjoy your singleness and you jump into marriage or you are just living anxiously for marriage, by the time you get married, you miss your singleness. Right? So just enjoy. Right? Write the books you want to write, organize the plans you want to organize, pool conferences, impact lives on a very global level, do everything you want to do, but enjoy it. All right, just enjoy it. So that when you now eventually get married, you'll be like, wow, I did this. I wrote 12 books before I got married. I traveled to 10 countries before I got married. All of those kind of things. Have that kind of experience, and you see that your life would make a bigger difference overall. I hope this helps somebody. Thank you.
Okay, definitely helped somebody. I mean, it did help me. So, yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Toby. When you say enjoy your singleness, reminds me of one thing I think about that okay, we try to rush our single phase, but we would spend, if not to triple the time we spend being single in marriage. So, why should I not enjoy the, let's say, one quarter of my life that I have to be with just myself before joining to become one with someone else? Thank you so much, Mr. Toby, and thank you so much, DVA. This has been an amazing session. I would have said we should take questions from the audience, but our agreement with you was that we should be done by 9, and I don't want to take more time. But this has been an amazing conversation. I have learned. It's not just me learning, but it's also the fact that the conversation has been awesome and has been rich. We've pulled from spouses to marriage to heartbreak to different issues. So thank you very much, sir, for doing this with us. Thank you so much, DBA, for coming on board with us. But I wanted to mention something. This is not serious. This is just me mentioning it on the side. That Mr. Toby, you are the TA to the MTA, but you can also be MTA because you have started me at this time. That's just me, that's me being joking. And
Nice
but
rhyme,
thank you
nice
so
one, nice one, nice one, nice one.
Mr.
I don't know if
Toby.
I had
Thanks
that
so
one.
much, DBA. Now we stop God winning up and downward. God, how do we build the nations? Thank you so much, DVA. Thank you so much, Mr. Toby. It's been an awesome time learning from you. Um, for some of us that are not yet married, this is the best time to even be in such meetings, in such rooms, because it would help us enjoy our singleness, yes, and also help us to maximize and be better when it comes to being married. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. For those
You're
of us
welcome.
who are
Thanks,
still here,
Davina.
thank you. Thank you. For those of us who are still here, thank you for staying with us till now. I know we're supposed to be done by 9. For someone, this conversation, we need to finish having it for our own good. And I believe that even the last 28 minutes has been very awesome for you. It's been transformative. I think now our speakers can exit the room if they want to exit the room, and you can also stay if you want to stay. But thank you so much. For those who are still with us, thank you so much. I really hope that this has been an amazing experience for you as it has for me. I hope that your expectations were met and even surpassed, because that's the goal, to surpass your expectations, not just meet them. And I'm so glad that we had this conversation. Let me hear from you in the comment section. How was this session for you? Were your expectations met? Um, did it exceed your expectations? And don't forget, I'm going to send the link to the feedback form. Please, I can go on my knees to beg you to please fill out the feedback form at this point. Please fill out the feedback form, so when we are organizing a next event, we can serve you better. Because yes, we would be organizing more events as we go further. Thank you so much. Still Smart Say there, the author of Naked and Unashamed. And if you've not copied your copy of Naked and Unashamed, now, like right now is the best time to do so. The next best time is tomorrow. And it being the next best time means that you will pay for delay. Like, delay is dangerous. But in this case, it's not dangerous. You just pay the normal launch price. There's no problem. And for those who don't even know what Naked and Unashamed is, so let me give you the full gist. I wrote a book. Yes, I wrote a book. And this book details my journey from when I was 4. And this is not just any memoir or like biography. This is a memoir on certain event that happened in my childhood that traumatized me up until I turned 21. And at 21, you get the gist of 21, like WON, when you read the book. Just get your copy. It's going to be it's very transformative. It's not even going to be. We've had people read, because we had early readers to review the book, and their feedback shows that you should read this book. Someone even said this is the realest book you would ever read. Another person said this, said I posted a nude and she posted it in form of a book. I was very vulnerable in everything I did with that book. I didn't hold anything back. And it's not just about you even learning, listening to my story or reading my story, but you finding yourself in the midst of everything and going forward, steps that you can take, how you can grow. Enjoy your single season, like you said. In that book too, you learn to enjoy your single season, because a lot people go through a lot trying to be in relationships every time. So people don't know how to be single, but I'm not here for that conversation, because we are done with this session, right? I don't want to get into that conversation. I could go on and on and on talking about Naked and Unashamed, but we'll send you more details about it into your mail. Check the community group chats when we are done, so you can be abreast on what Naked and Unashamed really is. Thank you so much for joining with us. Thank you so much for staying. Thank you so much for trusting us with your art and your time that you've been here to learn. I hope that it was worth the time. It was worth the sacrifice, because it's Sunday. You could have just gone to sleep, but you joined us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Your healing awaits, and I believe that your journey to healing has started. Yes, healing is a journey. It's not a one-time event. It is a journey. It's not just 2 plus 2 is equals to 4. It could be 0 plus 0.5 minus 0.2 plus 0. It's just, it is weird, but it is very, very necessary for your soul, for the soul of the person you're going to get married to, for the children that you're going to raise, for the nations you are going to build, for the persons, the lives you are called to impact. It's important that you heal. It's important that you heal, because soul wounds, they are so hard to break. But when you are intentional, God would be there to ensure that you get your healing, because God wants you healed. God's desire for you is that you prosper as your soul prospers. And that means He wants your soul to be whole. He wants your soul to be full of life. He wants you full of vigor and vitality. And your soul needs to experience that vigor and vitality for you to live as a victor and not as a victim. I hope this has been an amazing experience for you. Till I come your way next time, I remain smart, say there, and I would see you in all the times. I'll be your emails. If you subscribe to our newsletters, get ready. I've written letters that are going to come to you, delivered to you in the coming days. Trust me, you don't want to miss any letter. You'd also want to share these letters when they get into your inbox because, like I always say, you never know who you are saving, you never know who you are, helping by sharing these opportunities. Do not keep it to yourself. Preach the gospel, spread the word, bring someone into healing, and trust me, that person is going to be grateful to you forever. Thank you so much for joining with us thus far. Right about now, I'd like to say for those in Nigeria, for those whose time zones are currently saying that you are at that, have a wonderful night's rest. For those who are living outside of Nigeria and the GMT plus one time zones, have a wonderful rest of your day. Have a wonderful rest of your day. See you next time. Au revoir. Bye.